नमस्कार, गुड आफ्टरनून टू ऑल। आप सभी दर्शकों का, मेरे प्यारे प्यारे जो ऑडियंस है उनका मैं स्वागत करता हूं। आपका होस्ट और दोस्त सुनील शर्मा बड़ी ही मोटिवेट लाइन के साथ में आज हम इसकी शुरुआत करते हैं दोस्तों। कि जैसे कोरोना में जो बहुत सारी नेगेटिविटी रही, लेकिन जीवन में हर एक चीज नेगेटिव के बाद पॉजिटिव के साथ में उससे आप उसका सामना कर सकते हो। इसमें मैं स्वागत करता हूं इस खूबसूरत मोटिवेट लाइन के साथ में तमाम आप सभी लोगों का। हमारे जो आज के स्पीकर हैं मिस्टर एडरिच मिरांडा, और बड़ा ही जीवन और हाउसिंग सोसाइटी लाइफ टाइप्स ऑफ इंश्योरेंस इन CHS फॉर CHS, इस सब्जेक्ट पर हम बात करेंगे। आप तमाम विषय को हाउसिंग सोसाइटी में जो रहने वाले लोग हैं उनकी लाइफ, उनका जीवन, उनके साथ में उनका कंस्ट्रक्शन, बिल्डिंग, उनका घर का इंश्योरेंस का क्या टाइप है, इंश्योरेंस कैसे किस तरह से कर सकते हैं, क्या उसका इंपॉर्टेंस है, वो सब बताने के लिए हमारे साथ कीनोट स्पीकर मिस्टर मिरांडा मौजूद है, जो महासेवा महाराष्ट्र सोसाइटी वेलफेयर लीगल एडवाइजर हैं और सभी तमाम विषय के मामलों के जानकार हैं। हाई कोर्ट हो या लेवल कोर्ट हो या सिविल कोर्ट हो, कई प्रकार की कोर्टों में ये लोगों के बिहाफ पे अपील करते हैं और वहाँ पर विन होकर आते हैं। दोस्तों, ऐसे बेबाक मिस्टर एडरिच मिरांडा का और आप सभी दर्शकों का मैं इस मोटिवेट लाइन के साथ में स्वागत करता हूँ। जीवन में ऐसी सोच रखिए, जीवन में ऐसी सोच रखिए, जो खोया उसका गम नहीं, जो खोया उसका गम नहीं, पर जो पाया वह किसी से कम नहीं, पर जो पाया वह किसी से कम नहीं। जो नहीं है वह एक ख्वाब है, जो नहीं है वह एक ख्वाब है, पर जो है वह लाजवाब है। जो आप सभी के पास है वो लाजवाब है। इस लाजवाब लाइन के साथ में आप सभी का स्वागत है इस खास शो में, प्रभु से खास बात शो। प्रभु से खास बात शो में हम लगातार अवेयर करते हैं, एजुकेट करते हैं, हाउसिंग सोसाइटी से रिलेटेड हो, अलग तरह के मुद्दे हो, लॉ कानून से रिलेटेड। और यह पेशकश है दोस्तों महासेवा महाराष्ट्र सोसाइटी वेलफेयर एसोसिएशन, जिसके कर्ता धर्ता हैं और जिनकी प्रेरणा से हाउसिंग गुरु रमेश प्रभु जी और MNS मीडिया न्यूज सर्विस के दोनों के संयुक्त तत्वाधान में ये प्रभु से खास बात 1 साल से ऊपर शो चल रहा है। आपके वो अलग अलग टाइप्स क्या होते हैं इंश्योरेंस, उसके बारे में मैं एडरिच मिरांडा साहब को इनवाइट करता हूं। प्लीज वेलकम मिस्टर एडरिच मिरांडा। आप बताइए हमारे दर्शकों को कि
नमस्ते जी।
आप हमारे दर्शकों को बताइए कि टाइप्स ऑफ इंश्योरेंस कितना क्या क्या है और इसका इंपॉर्टेंट क्या क्या है।
ओके सर।
यस, प्लीज वेलकम।
थैंक यू मिस्टर शर्मा जी फॉर योर काइंड वर्ड्स and I have to thank Prabhu sir for giving this opportunity. Good afternoon friends. We'll begin with the subject of insurance, and as described by Sharma ji that I'm going to speak about insurance in the cooperative society or connected with cooperative society and life insurance, things like that. Some of the audience might wonder how this is connected. How is life insurance connected with cooperative housing society, and what has this to do with how society work? Yes, everything is connected to something or the other. The connectivity is so intricate that you cannot possibly segregate. You have basically 2 types of insurance. To divide it broadly speaking, life insurance and non-life insurance. Now, life covers number of things, number of schemes are there, number of what you call insurance covers are there. Life could mean we'll talk now briefly about life insurance only. Let's keep the non-life for a later date. Well, not later date, for some other time, means after this. Life insurance could mean, initially the concept of insurance was to give a cover or a guarantee for a person. If he dies prematurely, his heirs get a sort of, they get some funds, they get some compensation, sort of something, some ad hoc is given, something akin to ad hoc. You cannot call it exactly ad hoc. But his life was assured for a particular sum of money for a particular period, and before that period, if he expires, he gets the entire amount that he was assured for, even though he may not have paid premiums to that extent. If he survives the period for which he has been insured, there were different kinds of schemes where he gets he or she, I mean, the insured person gets the money back. Then the new types of schemes came to be introduced, where a fixed amount of money was to be paid, something like an investment, something akin to an investment, on fixed installments for a fixed period of time. Suppose if a person was insured for 30 years, his age was 30 and he was insured for the next 30 years. He would have to pay some small amounts as way of premium. But that you cannot call it premium, it would go in the form of an investment. Because a premium would mean something akin to an EMI. Here it is not, the entire amount has not been split up into EMIs as such, proportionate amounts to be paid in installments. Rather it was large sums of money in the form of an investment for the first 6 months or so, or for a first year and things like that. And thereafter he would not have to pay anything. But if he died prematurely, he would have got what is the insured sum amount as per his insurance contract. Had he survived, he yet gets his entire investment along with some incentive. That incentive could be something like, you can say, a return. That if you put your money into the share bazaar, you would have got some returns, but there the returns are high. Had you invested kept in a fixed deposit, you would have got some returns. There it is low, but not very low. Sometimes you get very low in some schemes. You get reasonable returns in some other schemes. You get very high returns in some schemes. Various types of schemes were floated by insurance companies, and there is no limit to the types of schemes that can be floated or that can be introduced, save and except if there is any bar with the IRDA, Insurance Regulatory Development Authority, because they are the controlling authority. They are an authority that looks after the schemes that are introduced, who can take insurance, how much quantity of insurance can be taken. All that is governed by IRDA. It is a body, statutory body. Now let us come to insurance, life insurance. As I told you is if a person has taken an insurance policy and he dies, he gets that, or his heirs get that, his nominee gets that. There are a lot of technicalities in this. Okay, nevertheless, the nominee or the heirs get it according to what is, or some other claimant who. But you cannot have anybody who is not directly related to you as a beneficiary. Unlike in other testamentary matters and other issues where monies are transferred or property is transferred, in insurance you cannot get a person who is not related to you directly cannot claim insurance unless he has some interest in you by virtue of being your parents, your children, your spouse, or he's your boss, and you are working with him to the extent that, or he has some pecuniary interest in you. Otherwise he cannot get, and the policy cannot go through. Such an agreement is null and void. Insurance, actually, one should remember, insurance is not a money-making scheme. There is a general misconception. Some people think, I will take a large amount of insurance and I will benefit this manner and I will benefit in that manner, and I will conceal this and I will not disclose some facts. I will take double policy. I will take a policy that is worth more than what I am capable of for the purpose of reaping benefits. But you will not succeed. When the claim comes, the claim is minutely scrutinized. And if you have insured yourself for like, let us suppose a person has insured himself for 100 crore rupees, he will not get 100 crore rupees on his demise, or his heirs will not get that 100 crore rupees on his demise. Not necessarily. It will depend on various other factors. What has been his income, what is his standing in society, whether his annual income was that much, whether his education was that much, whether he was literally worth that much. Merely insuring yourself to a large amount does not guarantee you that you shall get. So you should insure yourself proportionately. Okay, it is not a money-making racket. It is just a piece of social legislation, so that you don't suffer in the event of any unlikely misfortune. At the same time, you should not reap excessive benefits. There should be a balance. Okay, now there are various types of covers. But one important thing, there are some unusual features in all laws. Insurance law and insurance contract has some unusual features. For example, if we are purchasing a flat, we make an agreement. In the former part of the agreement, first paragraph, we usually write, this agreement was made on so and so date, at so and so place, by and between so and so party and so and so party, etc., etc. Nobody mentions the time that the flat was purchased at 4:30 or at 6:30. Time is never mentioned, because time is wholly irrelevant in agreements of that nature. For example, if a flat was purchased at 10 in the morning, or it was purchased at 2 in the noon, it would not make a significant difference. But in insurance policies, we have to be very specific with the time. At so and so date, at so and so time, and so and so place, the policy was signed. The party, the insured, entered into an agreement with the company, insurance company, because time is of essence in such contracts. If a person has purchased the policy at 12 o'clock, and suppose he is mentioned in the agreement, he has purchased a policy at 12 o'clock, and actually he has expired at 11:40 or 11:50, he becomes entitled to a claim. He has become entitled to a claim. They can back time it. So there is a danger of that. And because of this danger, there is some unique features where time is of essential ingredient. So all precautions are to be taken to see that no illegality is committed, and there is no scope to commit any illegality. Therefore, we have something known as a cover note. This concept of cover note is not known to other trades or in other commercial transactions. Cover note you have only in insurance, and sometimes you have something akin to cover note in certain other contracts. Therefore, I said insurance contracts are a special type, and insurance laws is of a special type. Insurance law does not permit you to derive undue benefits. It will not allow a third party to insure you. Otherwise, some rich person would insure some beggar on the road, and when the beggar dies, the rich person will become even richer by claiming the insured amount. Therefore, these are unusual features of insurance law and insurance contract. Now, there is a lot to talk about the contract and a lot about the law. It will run into months and years. So, I am supposed to be giving you only a bird's eye view. And of course, this series will continue where I can elaborate on them. But as of today, I will confine myself just to that. Now, insurance can be, as I told you, about death. Insurance can also be about, when I'm talking of life insurance, it could be of death, it could be of injury, it could also be of illness. But illness is a separate subject altogether, connected with life insurance only. It doesn't come in non-life, it comes in life insurance. But that would not be very much connected with the cooperative housing societies. But injury, yes, injury can take place. A person can get injured in a cooperative housing society. For example, in a lift, if it is mechanical failure, if there is human failure, somebody's body gets stuck up, hand gets stuck up in a lift, and the lift doesn't stop or whatever. A person might lose their arm, or person might lose their life, or a person might lose some limbs, or some injury might take place. So injury also can be covered under life. There are various policies for injury, and there are various methods of computing as to what quantum of compensation is to be given to the injured. There is a criteria, there is a tabulated form where an injured person can fill up the form, claim form. It's known as a claim form, when you claim a compensation for the injury that has been has occurred. So here again, injury, every claim will not be passed mechanically. You may slip on the floor and fall down, get injure your body. You may get stuck up in a lift. You may get an electric shock due to improper wiring or whatever. Or the ceiling might fall off, plaster of the ceiling may fall off, and you might get injured. Anything can happen. So those type of injuries also are connected with cooperative society, in as much as it doesn't cover the entire society. The injury and the compensation is confined only to you who are insured, or we call it assured. In life insurance, we call it assured. It is one and the same thing. The concept is same. It comes under different nomenclature. What is insured is actually assured. For life, you assure a person that I am going to give you this much compensation if anything happens to you. But for an inanimate object, car or a factory or some refrigerator, air conditioner, you insure. You don't assure that person. That is an inanimate object. You cannot assure that person or that thing that you will be giving it a compensation. So you insure that, and the owner gets a compensation equivalent to the insurance policy selected by him. So there are various types of forms for various types of policies, and there are various types of policies available. Now you should see which is the best policy for yourself. Don't go by the glib talk of insurance agents. Agents are supposed to be giving you the best policy. I repeat, they are supposed to be giving you the best policy, but not necessarily all agents' integrity and morality is impeccable. Some of them give you a policy that is beneficial to you, beneficial to them more than it is beneficial to you. You got that? They give you a policy where their income will increase, but but that will not have a corresponding effect on you. You will get what you ought to get as per the policy scheme, but their incentive and their commission, so to say, because every agent gets a commission, which is it's an open secret. Nobody is going to work free. They are working there as agents. They get a commission for every policy. That commission is decided by the company. There are tabulated forms. You will get this kind of commission for this kind of policy, etc., etc. So they choose the scheme that is beneficial to them sometimes. So you should be careful and select. While selecting a policy, you should scrutinize many policies and take consultation from various agents before you actually purchase a policy. That is my personal opinion, in your own interest. Because agents are agents, and then there is something known as, besides agency, there is something known as insurance brokers. Brokers are actually big firms that are dealing in insurance. Most of the dealings are run into crores of rupees. And they are well-established brokers. They have training programs. They have deposits with the insurance company in the event of anything going wrong. And disciplinary proceedings can be initiated against them. Disciplinary proceedings can also be initiated against agents, but that is just a pittance and negligible periphery of hardly anybody knows about it and hardly anybody has succeeded in it. If an aggrieved insured person should have a grievance about not getting his actual claims or not getting a claim in time or something like that, usually the conflict is between the insurance company and the claimant. Hardly anybody involves the agent, because sometimes agents are existing, sometimes they are wound up, sometimes they have retired, sometimes they have resigned, sometimes they have expired. So you cannot get the agent, but you can always get the company. So this also should be kept in mind while selecting an insurance policy. Another danger of the policy while selecting a policy is never ask the agent to sign or to write anything on your behalf in the forms, in the format wherever blanks are there. Because if there are printed format with blanks, never ask any other person or particularly an agent to write anything. The moment he writes something with his handwriting, if there is a claim and the matter goes to court, you will not win, because agents are not supposed to fill the form. Agents are only supposed to propose the scheme. They can assist you in filling the form, but they cannot fill up the form themselves. So therefore, be careful not to write anything with your own hand, not to get the agent to write anything with his handwriting, or not to get any third party to write anything with their handwriting, save and except if your hands are not moving, or if you are paralyzed, or if your hand is amputated or something and you cannot sign, or you are illiterate and you cannot write, then you can get it written by a third party but not an agent. And there should be a cover for that. There should be some explanation for that, which is annexed to your policy, stating that this was written by so and so person due to this reason. The party being illiterate, or the party having a paralyzed hand or amputated hand or whatever. So these are the dangers of I've told you two of the dangers. One is not to go for just any policy that is suggested to you. Scrutinize the probability of your benefit from that. Second thing is not to sign or write anything. Then the third thing is never take insurance in excess of what you are permissible to take. There are certain rules that govern as to how much insurance a person can take. If he takes insurance to the tune of 10 crore rupees, if I take, or even 5 crore rupees, whether my tax returns are there of that much money, whether I am earning that much money, that will all be contested, very hotly contested in the court as to when the claim comes. But claims are not just passed like that mechanically. The claim is minutely scrutinized before it is passed. It will go to various departments, and invariably some objection or the other will come. If the matter should reach the court, the probability of you winning is less. Winning in the sense you will not get your entire claim. You may get part of the claim, part that is permissible in law. Because if I never was worth 2 crore rupees, then I ought not to have taken a policy of 2 crore rupees, because this is not a gambling scheme. कोई जुआ नहीं खेल रहा है इधर. You put cards and you get. It's not like that. You get for what you are worth. So these 3 points I've taken. Now let me take you to non-life insurance. Non-life is a very vast sector. Non-life can include even shipping, traveling by aircraft, traveling by aircraft, farming, fishing, anything. It can include fire, theft, loss of profit, or various other things. So this also is connected with societies in one sense. Insurance can be taken for the entire building. Suppose it is a 20-story building. Something happens on the 20th floor, the terrace, or something happens on the ground floor, or something happens to the entire building. There is an earthquake, the building collapse. So the entire building as such can be insured. Then you can take an insurance for your own flat. In the event of a gas explosion, all your property will be damaged. Maybe your neighbor's property also will be damaged. So that also can be covered in. You can take an insurance for theft of your own flat, because you may go on a pilgrimage to some religious place, or you may go to your native place, or you may go abroad or whatever. And in the intervening period, if something is stolen, anybody could have stolen it. Your ex-employee, your servants, your drivers, or whoever, or even an unknown person who has infiltrated into a building and has stolen whatever. So theft also can be covered. Then other types of insurance cover is available. For example, bad workmanship. Your walls will be cracked, or the paint will be peeling off, or some plaster might fall off from the ceiling, or something. Any kind of thing can happen. So there are insurance policies, various type of policies for various type of covers, and there is no limit to it. Any type of scheme can be promoted by consulting higher officials in the insurance company. If the scheme doesn't exist, they will create a scheme to suit your convenience. Tailor-made schemes. For what is your requirement, that kind of scheme they can introduce. The development officer, the regional officer, and general manager of the company. The matter goes higher up the hierarchy, and they accept the scheme that is proposed. So there is no limitation to what kind of scheme. You can introduce any kind of scheme, provided it does not go against the Insurance Act and against the IRDA rules. Otherwise, any kind of scheme can be proposed. Of course, it should not violate any statute. Sometimes investment of money might violate some statute or rules having the force of law, and then the Reserve Bank of India might come into play, and SEBI also might come into the picture. Therefore, just about any scheme cannot be introduced or accepted. It has to be in consonance with law. Now, when an accident takes place or something happens like this, monies are not just released automatically. You put a claim form, there is a panchnama made, photographs are taken, witnesses are called, everything. Some documents are collected and scrutinized, old documents, your policy. Your old policy, your policy has a number. So your policy agreement will be removed. They scrutinize the policy and all the annexures with the policy. Then surveyor will come there. There is something known as a surveyor. The surveyors are authorized surveyors who are trained to conduct survey in the event of any damage to property. The surveyor will come and make an assessment. That is sent to the insurance company along with the claims form. The department might scrutinize as it is their duty to scrutinize and minimize expenses for the company. Just like income tax, the more the money comes in, so the officer is more concerned with seeing that how much maximum he can tax you within the framework of law. Same thing here. The person in that department, claims department, is more concerned with how much money he can save for the company. Not by doing anything in breach of law, but within the framework of law where he can oppose your claim. So it goes on like that. Then if you don't agree, the matter goes to court. Then eventually there is an adjudication, and the court decides as to what is the actual claim and what should be given. So these are some of the things. Okay.
यस, थैंक यू वेरी मच मिस्टर मिरांडा।
We
तो
will
आपने
continue with this
यस
in the next series.
या नेक्स्ट सीरीज हम लोग इसी सब्जेक्ट पे, क्योंकि एक अनवरत ये जो टॉपिक है, एक लंबा टॉपिक है, टाइप्स ऑफ इंश्योरेंस, तो हम आगे भी सीरीज चलाएंगे, बीच बीच में लेते रहेंगे, लेकिन रिलेटेड जो CHS से रिलेटेड रीडेवलपमेंट तमाम विषय हैं, ये सब भी हम सोसाइटी से रिलेटेड टॉपिक भी लेते रहेंगे, लेकिन इसकी भी सीरीज चलती रहेगी। हम महीने में एक बार हम लोग ये टॉपिक से रिलेटेड हम करेंगे लाइव शो और वेबिनार भी करेंगे। तो दोस्तों, एक छोटा सा वक्त हो चला एक छोटे से ब्रेक का। ब्रेक के बाद हम बात करेंगे कि जो कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट होती है बिल्डर की या कोऑपरेटिव हाउसिंग सोसाइटी जब रिपेयर पे जाती है, तो जो लेबर्स काम करते हैं उन लेबर्स की लाइफ का इंश्योरेंस का क्या, उनकी लाइफ क्या, तो वो इस महत्वपूर्ण विषय पे बात करेंगे। जो हमारे लाइव देख रहे हैं, प्लीज उन सभी से रिक्वेस्ट है और इस वीडियो को शेयर करें, लाइक करें, आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट है, क्योंकि ये जो अवेयरनेस और एजुकेट का प्रोग्राम का सिलसिला हमारा चल रहा है, महासेवा का और MNS मीडिया का, हमें पता चलेगा कि इस मुहिम में, इस मिशन में आप लोग कैसे हम साथ दे रहे हैं, आप और हम। हमारा संजीव ठोबरे साहब पूना से जुड़े हैं, गुड आफ्टरनून सर। जावेद सैयद नासिक से जुड़े हुए हैं, और ये एक सज्जन हैं बीनांस फ्रॉड स्टॉप लूजिंग योर मनी, थैंक यू। डॉक्टर रामवीर शर्मा जी हैं, नेक्सेस अंकल हैं, सुनील मेंजेसेस साहब हैं, ट्वीस हैं। तो सभी जो यूट्यूब पे देख रहे हैं उन सभी का धन्यवाद, थैंक यू वेरी मच। आप सभी इस तरह से वीडियो को लाइक करें, शेयर करें ज़्यादा ज़्यादा, और टाइप्स ऑफ इंश्योरेंस फॉर कोऑपरेटिव हाउसिंग सोसाइटी के लिए कितना ज़रूरी है, ये सब चीज़ें आपने जानी मिस्टर मिरांडा से। दोस्तों, इस बारे में कुछ सवाल हो, आपके कुछ सब टॉपिक हो, कुछ इश्यूज़ है, आपका कुछ मैटर है इससे रिलेटेड, तो ज़रूर हमारे महासेवा के नंबर पर कॉल करें, मिस्टर मिरांडा से अपॉइंटमेंट लेके आप मिल सकते हैं। अभी जैसे मैंने कहा था ब्रेक के पहले कि मिस्टर मिरांडा, जो कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट होती है, जब बिल्डिंग बनती है, तो उस वक्त ये बड़े बड़े प्रोजेक्ट चलते हैं, वहाँ पर बड़ा इंफ्रा वगैरह, मशीनेज वगैरह होती है, उसमें जो लेबर्स काम करते हैं उनकी लाइफ कोई फिक्स नहीं होती, यहाँ से वहाँ उनको शिफ्ट होना पड़ता है, और उस वक्त उनकी जब मृत्यु होती है, अकस्मात उनका एक्सीडेंटल उनका डेथ होता है, तो उनका लाइफ का क्या इंश्योरेंस है, डेवलपर के कुछ नया कुछ अमेंडमेंट आया क्या, और हाउसिंग सोसाइटी में जब रिपेयर होता है, सिविल वर्क रिपेयर होता है, तो बाम्बू वगैरह ऐसा कुछ करके वो इंफ्रा तैयार करते हैं, उस वक्त भी लेबर्स वहाँ पे होता है, तो एक्सीडेंटल उनका कुछ होता है, कुछ उनकी हानि होती है, तो उनके लिए इंश्योरेंस क्या?
इंश्योरेंस, लेट मी टेक द सोसाइटी वर्क फर्स्ट। सोसाइटी, जो सोसाइटी के सिलसिले में आपने कहा, जो कंस्ट्रक्शन कोई रिपेयर वगैरह चालू है, उस समय दुर्घटना होगा तो क्या करना चाहिए। फर्स्टली, इंश्योरेंस सोसाइटी शुड नॉट टेक द जॉब ऑफ repairing. It should be given to a contractor.
Yes, correct.
And contractor should be a recognized contractor registered with the government. He should be a contractor who has got financial resources, who is registered, who is reputed, and that will be his. Once the contract is given, the person to whom the contract is given is responsible. So your hands are clean. Society does not have experience of doing this kind of work, repair work in multi-story buildings. So they should not put their hand into, sign a contract, give the contract, पूरा काम उनको सौंप कॉन्ट्रैक्टर ठेकेदार को देना चाहिए. अगर कुछ गलतियां होगा, ठेकेदार is responsible. He is the contractor. The contractor should be rich. He should have balance of funds. He should be able to take insurance for all his employees. Whoever is doing a dangerous job, particularly doing a dangerous job, somebody who is not doing a dangerous job, who's just mixing cement on the floor or something, you may skip, but not necessarily. In fact, it would be advisable to take insurance cover for all the employees, because who can get injured at what time you can never say. कभी दुर्घटना होगा, किसको जख्मी लगेगा, और कुछ बता नहीं सकता भविष्य में क्या होगा. Everybody should be covered by insurance, and that is his duty. If he fails to do, contractor fails to do, and any accident takes place, he is liable. But there are some difficulties. Sometimes contractors cannot take insurance because of some difficulties are there in filling the form. You see, the workers are illiterate. Okay, ठीक है, that can be overcome by getting it done by somebody else and putting a note to that effect that this was done because the workers they cannot write. That can be, but Aadhaar card is required, permanent address is required. But these things can be negotiated with the insurance company. Their current address can be shown as their permanent address. They are insured. The parties who are insured, the workers, the contractor can show his office address as their permanent address because he has got some interest in that person who is insuring. He is paying the premium for that person, which is not permitted. In law, normally you cannot pay premium for some other person. I cannot pay your premium, you cannot pay my premium. But if I am working under you, then you can pay my premium.
Correct.
Because I might have taken loan from you, I might have taken overdraft from you, advance from you, and that is to be recovered if I suddenly die. So you have some interest, and therefore you can take insurance cover for me.
There is connectivity.
Yeah.
Yes.
So also with the employees, they can show the office address of the contractor as a permanent address of residence, care of, or care of. That can be negotiated with the insurance company because there is flexibility, and policies are not fixed policies. Policies can incorporate anything other than anything in violation of the Insurance Act or IRDA rules. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. एक सवाल है हमारे
The next question was a part of the question was about the developer.
Yes, developers, yes.
Developer essentially has to take insurance for the entire structure, and not only the structure, even the work, because there are various kinds of schemes. If he is a very wise person, there is scheme for, you will not believe that there is a scheme even for advocates and chartered accountants. If they make a mistake in the course of their professional duty, that also can be covered under insurance. If they make a mistake just in giving advice or in conducting some case or something, that also can be covered under insurance. So insurance has no limitation. You can bring different kind of schemes. Therefore, if he is a wise and cautious developer, he will approach an insurance company for a tailor-made policy to suit his conveniences. That is my answer.
Yes, sir.
I hope I satisfied you with that.
Yes. बहुत सारी कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट पे डेवलपर कहीं ना कहीं बचने की कोशिश करता है एक्सीडेंटल वगैरह, लेकिन उनकी पर्सनल लेवल पे वो कहीं ना कहीं लेबर्स की फैमिलीज को मदद करता है अनऑफिशियली जाके साइड में, वो उनके घर पे उनकी बॉडी वगैरह और उनके फाइनेंशियली कुछ न कुछ प्रेशर रहता है उनको. एक सवाल है मिस्टर फ्रांसिस मेंजेस साहब का.
Menezes.
Yes, my question, Mr. Miranda sir, did you hold any life insurance policy present on your life? Share your own experience of company's agent and how the citizens purchase the life insurance policy. Please advise.
My personal life insurance.
Yes, share your own experience of company's agent.
My personal life insurance I will not discuss with anybody. That is a matter between company and me.
Did you hold any life insurance policy present on your life?
I have held, but
Yeah.
I am not going to disclose to you.
Yes, correct.
This is confidential.
Share your own experience of the company's agents.
Company's agents, there are some people are good, some people are bad. Everywhere
correct.
it is in every profession
For
and every field it is same.
services.
Any field it is same.
Yeah.
Whether it is education, whether it is anything you say. We have good people and bad people everywhere. Now who is good and who is bad, I am not supposed to sit and decide who is good and who is bad. You have to be careful, and when you are taking your policy, you check the policy with the agent. Many agents you check, you get your satisfaction. If you are satisfied that the policy is good for you and it is beneficial for you, it is economical for you, go for it. If you are not satisfied, go on searching and meeting other agents, other various people. You can take advice from various people, various companies. There are many insurance companies nowadays. Private insurance companies are there, and there are 4 nationalized insurance companies. 4 major companies in India are nationalized insurance company. I think this nationalization took place in 1971 when Indira Gandhi nationalized all the petrol stations and petrol companies and insurance companies. If I'm not mistaken, it was 1971, because Indira Gandhi thought that all the money is going abroad, the money that the companies are earning. So she nationalized, and now we have 4 Indian major companies, and then number of private companies are there. Foreign companies that have got insurance interests in India. So you cannot say who is what.
यस आप अपनी चॉइस कर सकते हैं। रेटिंग है कंपनियों की, गूगल्स पर आप कहीं पे सर्च करेंगे गवर्नमेंट की रेटिंग्स हैं, तो आप तय कर सकते हैं कौन सी आपको पॉलिसी, कौन सी प्रीमियम, कौन सी कंपनी आपको चूज करनी है। साथ ही आप मुझे मेरे इस नंबर पर व्हाट्सअप करें, रिक्वेस्ट दें मुझे, तो मैं आपको इन्विटेशन भी भेज दूंगा। मेरा नंबर है 9920378133। ये आपके होस्ट और दोस्त सुनील शर्मा का नंबर है। आप मेरे ब्रॉडकास्ट ग्रुप में भी ऐड हो सकते हैं। थैंक यू वेरी मच।